Hey guys, just a quick introductory video into Pythagoras Theorem. Now, before we go through Pythagoras Theorem, it's very important to understand that Pythagoras Theorem only works for right-angled triangles. What does that mean? A right-angled triangle is indicated like that. What does that little box in the corner there mean? That little box in the corner means that that's a 90-degree angle in the corner there. So that indicates that that's a right-angled triangle. Very important to note, we can only use Pythagoras Theorem for right-angled triangles. Now, a right-angled triangle has three distinct sides, as you can see there. You have this longer side here, and then you have the two other shorter sides there. Now, in order to use Pythagoras Theorem, we need to memorize a formula. And the formula for Pythagoras Theorem is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Now here, as you can see, we have three different variables or pronumerals, and we have three different sides. So it's very important for you to understand which side is what. Now, in Pythagoras Theorem, the only one that really matters is the hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is always opposite the right angle there. So you can see the right angle there, so the hypotenuse is going to be that side there. We can label the hypotenuse as C. So it's very important to note here that the hypotenuse equals C. And we know that the hypotenuse is opposite the right angle there. Now, sometimes you can also see that the hypotenuse is the longest side out of the three, but often you don't have that information. So it's just safe to understand that the hypotenuse is opposite the right angle there. Now, you have two other values here, A and B. For Pythagoras, it doesn't really matter which side you label as A or B. So I'm going to label that side as A and that side as B. Now, it's very important for you to understand that when you're using Pythagoras Theorem, that you label your triangle perfectly. So let's go through some labeling of some triangles. So I have a triangle as such with a right angle there. I have a triangle as such with a right angle there. And I have a triangle as such with the right angle there. Now let's go through the first one and quickly label it. Now I always like to do my hypotenuse first. So I can see here that I have the right angle there. So the opposite side is going to be my C. And then the other sides are A and B. It doesn't really matter. Here, my right angle, that's going to be C, or my hypotenuse. And then the other ones are going to be A and B. And here, my right angle here, so that's going to be C there. And the other sides are going to be A and B. It's quite simple as that. Now, the first thing that we mastered here is labeling the right angle triangle. Let's keep going. Let's quickly do an example of Pythagoras Theorem. So here I have a right angle triangle, and I'm given a value of, let's say, 6 units by 10 units. Now, the first thing to do when using Pythagoras Theorem is to write the formula down. So the formula there is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Now here you have three values and three sides. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to label our triangle. Here I have this as C, because I know that's the hypotenuse because it's opposite the right angle there. And my other side is A and B. Now it doesn't matter which one's A and B, remember. So now I'm just going to substitute the values in. C I don't know, so it's going to be C squared equals 6 squared plus 10 squared. Now here I can simplify this further by doing 6 squared and 10 squared. So I'm going to do C squared equals 36 plus 100. I can further simplify this further, 36 and 100, adding them together. C squared equals 136. And now we're going to go back to equations where we go through inverse operations. Now C is not by itself, it has a squared with it. And the inverse or the opposite of the squared is square root. Now as you would remember, in order to get that square root, in order to get rid of that squared, I need to square root both sides. And when I square root both sides, that square and that square root cancel out. And I'm left with C equals the square root of 136. Now, to find the answer of this, we can chuck this in the calculator. And we get the answer is C equals 11.662 dp. Now, what does this 2 dp here stand for? Very important. In the calculator, when I type square root of 136, I got 11.66190379. I rounded that off to two decimal places. I need to indicate that in my answer for it to be correct. So now, what does this tell us? This tells us for this triangle here, where sides 6 and 10, that the hypotenuse, or C, is 11.66. If I redrew that triangle over here to indicate all of these values, then I can indicate that this side is 11.66, the bottom is 10, and the inside there is 6. And that's how simple we got the answer. Not to forget, right angle. Hopefully that helped you. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. Thank you.